Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday night Muskrat Adventures. Chat with the Muskrat tonight. We've got Catfish Code, Mathew in the house. And so I got to fish with William a couple weeks ago and had a good time, learned some stuff. And I thought he would be a great extension to the family in here and bring him in and talk to William a little bit. Before I get kicked off, though, I want to say hey, especially to the early risers. JP3 in the house at 7:25 today. Skip Stewart's in the house. Jason Lamb, Betty Cross. Hopefully Brandon Cross is there with you. Ryan Bortz, Jason Lamb. Let's see. I think I'm getting caught up in the same ones. D is in the house. Kentucky Catman Outdoor Adventures, the original Kentucky Catman, Jim Clark is in the house. Crail Catfishing. See who else we got. Trying to scroll down through here. Fishing with the Chad. Tim Molina's in the house. Fishing and Gear Outdoor Equipment or Entertainment. Sorry, Jimmy. Is in the house. Thank you for stopping in. And Fishing with the Squirrels in the house. Mike's Outdoor Adventures. Mike Kaufman, thanks for stopping in. Lynn Leaper's in the house. Everybody just pouring in now as we start getting going. Betty posted here. We got William to 82 subs. Let's change that, as she says. Catfish Code link is in there. The link is also in the description tonight. So if you forget to grab the link, you can always go back and check the description out afterwards and check out some of what William's been doing. I can tell you that he fishes a different part of the Ohio River that I'm used to fishing, and I was excited to get my feet wet on that part of the river. A lot different area than what I'm used to as far as structure. A lot of turns in the river, different things that made it very intriguing and kept me busy. Sorry, I got a couple stuff popping up here. I'm trying to get rid of it. There we go. All right. So Brandon's in the house. Jason Ward's in the house. They just keep coming in. Fishing and Cooking with Mike Chavez. Hey, man, great show on Catfish Weekly last night. Really enjoyed the show. Speaking of Catfish Weekly, Lyle's in the house. Maurice Kaysen, Fishing with Paula Smith. And the list just keeps going on. So thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate the crowd. But we're going to get started. Wayne, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. A little bit about who you are, what you like to do, family and whatnot. Just kind of give everybody a rough draft of who they're talking to tonight.
All right. So, born and raised Cincinnati, Ohio. I've always been next to the river. I'm a Richmond graduate, so I always had that river in the back of my head, So, got two boys, beautiful wife, Litany. My kids are getting old on me quick. They're already teenagers. So
it happens fast.
Oh yeah, it does. We love to fish, love the outdoors. So it's something I've always had a passion for. I've had a boat since I was a teenager. I mean, I've rebuilt old rotten boats and put them on the water, and our first boat was pretty much a bathtub with a motor on it, and taking my wife out on that when she's 8-9 months pregnant was a little sketchy. So over the years, we were able to upgrade and get ourselves to where we're safe out on the water and having a good time.
Good deal. So who got you started into fishing? They don't have to be catfishing or whatnot, or we can separate it. Who got you into the catfish side? But who was your influence growing up?
So fishing in general, I mean, I always had a rod in my hand. I mean, we as a young kid, my grandparents they moved away. They moved down to Florida, and they moved into a little retirement community with a canal behind the house, and it was perfect. We'd go down there for vacation or to visit. And we'd sit down on that little deck and cast into that canal and catch all kind of crazy stuff. And then as I got older, just kind of transitioned into doing things on my own. I became a teenager. I kind of dabbled in the pay lake scene for a little while. Got a taste for what a big fish was, and kind of spread my wings from there. started hitting bigger water, got myself a boat, and you know, when you hook into that first monster in uncharted waters, you know, it kind of gets you hooked forever. So
I completely agree. Sounds like you kind of went down the same path I did.
yeah,
You know, so you know, as many of us did, got into pay lakes just because we wanted to catch big fish, and at the time didn't really know about the conservation and the cause and effect and things like that. And then as soon as we figured it out, we got out, we got on the river.
yeah, absolutely.
Been hooked on the river ever since.
Yep, yep. It's a good time. It's a real good time.
So, so what are your favorite methods? And I don't know if that means by time of year for you. I know we put a video out, or you put a video out of us dragging baits. And I'll be honest with you, it was December 6th. The water temperature is 46 degrees, and you said, "Hey, we're going to drag baits and pull planer boards." I kind of scratched my head, but I trusted you, and it worked.
Yeah. So good buddy of mine, Brandon Darnell. I'm sure a lot of people in this chat know who he is. He's a great guy. So when I decided that I was going to start really getting serious about this and learning how to find these fish and learning how to catch them and catch them all year round, Brandon kind of took me under his wing, and he showed me the ropes, and he really got me into dragging baits. And I'd say by far dragging baits is it's got to be my favorite. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with anchoring up on a good hole and catching a bunch of fish, but you know, when the bite's a little bit tough, sometimes dragging's the way to go. I mean, you can put 15, 20 fish in the boat and a trip out. You know, it just makes for a great day, especially when you got the kids on the boat. You know, they don't want to sit there and stare at the tip of the fishing rod sometimes. So you give them a little action and give them something to do and keep them busy, and then it's producing fish on top of that. Then that's the way we go with it. So. You know, I'll drag as long as the current isn't crazy. I'll drag baits, you know, up to maybe 3/4 of a mile an hour current, something like that. And if it gets any more than that, I kind of stop, or I might start bump trolling. I like to do that too. I'll throw out a 3 or 4 pound dragging weight just behind the boat, and I'll start on the downstream side of a hole, and about every 5 minutes I'll just bump the trolling motor and move those baits 5 feet or so, and then I'll just bump myself all the way through that hole until I'm through the trough of it and out the other side. And a lot of times that produces a lot of fish. So if
So
they're
what's the point of the weight then behind the boat as opposed to just spot locking and then moving forward?
well, that's what I'm talking about. Just I'll put a dragging weight on. That way I'm not taking that chance of hanging up a big.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
And the same thing, a spot lock, and I'll just bump it forward, a few feet every 5 minutes or so. And sometimes that I call it the 5 foot bump. Sometimes you just bump that trolling motor and you move those baits 5 feet. Next thing you know, you got a rod going down. So whatever they're seeing down there or whatever's piquing their interest, and they see that bait move, and it's suddenly maybe it's a reaction bite. I don't know, but a lot of times just moving that boat 5 feet, get some hammer in the rod. So.
Well, I noticed you did that because I kind of do the same thing too. Once I've been sitting there for a while, sometimes I'll just I'll walk up to the rods and I'll just crank them a few times each rod just to kind of move them. Crank them up, like you said, 5-10 feet or something like that. Put them in a different position. I guess it would be easier just to move the whole boat, move the whole boat 5 feet, hit the jog one time, but yeah, that's something that I'm actually new to playing around with. But it's nice to know that it's productive at times. So
Yeah. Sometimes when the bait, if your bait's not moving and the fish aren't biting, then I don't know, you got to try something. So a lot of times just moving the bait around tends to get them moving.
So is there a temperature that the water actually ever gets too cold for you to drag baits?
I'd have to say no. I've got a real short video on my YouTube channel from a couple of years ago where we're out on the pontoon boat, and there's snow piled up on my motor, and it's freezing cold, and we're dragging boards, and we caught a lot of fish that day.
Absolutely.
Now I do like to slow it down a little bit because I think the fish are maybe a little bit less reactive. There's days I think that they're on fire, even though the water's super cold. But you know, sometimes it seems like they're a little bit less active, so I'll slow that boat down and maybe present the bait to them a little bit longer, give them a little bit more chance to see the bait or smell the bait or whatever. And then you know, that's about the only thing I change really.
So what's the so I know that day we were dragging, it was 46-degree water temp. We had about a half a mile hour current, and we were running at 0.2 to 0.3. Is that, I'm going to assume that's about the slow as you can go, isn't it?
Yeah, that's about what I slow it down to in the wintertime.
Gotcha.
Now in the summertime, or you know, when the fish seem to be more active or chasing baits a little harder, 0.5, 0.6 miles an hour sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I've even pulled 0.7, 0.8 miles an hour before, and you know, when I was pulling 0.4, I wasn't catching anything, and I bumped it up to 0.8, you know, just to try something, and boom, there they were. They were chasing that bait down.
Yep. Yeah. I've always kind of played around with that. I've had a few instances. I'm new to dragging Lake Hoover or Hoover Reservoir, and there was a few instances where, you know, the wind was getting crazy and you just couldn't drag right. And I tried to, you know, jump the trolling motor up to get me straightened out, and we were up to like 1.1, 1.3, and boom, got a bite or caught a fish, and we're like, what in the world? And Janice and I was out that day, and we ended up jumping up to like, you know, 1.2, and man, we started catching more fish and had more bites. And it's actually today I watched a video by Kayak Catfish where he was drifting part of the Tennessee River, and he was drifting at 1.2 or 1.4 miles an hour, just drifting baits all the way down through there. So if you think about the fish's ability to catch a live fish, I mean, in reality, there's not filleted shad laying out there for them anywhere, or cut bluegill.
Yeah.
They've got to chase and hunt. And if anybody's seen how fast a skipjack is, and they catch those on a daily basis, they're fast. They can catch your bait at 0.4 and 0.5, believe it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I want to say hi real quick to a couple of folks that came in after I said some hello. So I want to not leave anybody out. One Ton Fishing Club, Sampy, J-Dog, Buckeye Catfishing, Jim, Mexicat, Sunny Cat, Catman Parker. Hope you're feeling better. I just screwed your name up, but I'm sorry. LG Tom, thanks for being in the house. Skin and Scales, Norm, Jason Lamb, Fin Seeker TV, James Smith, and the one and only Mark from Catfish and Crappie. Thank you guys for jumping in. I'm going to try to keep the pace rolling because we had a lot of fun, and I've seen a lot of different things. And one of the things that got my attention, and in that video you posted, you kept catching fish on that one rod. One rod would throw out there, and it would just kind of when he brought that rod and reel, or brought that rig in, lost everybody or what? Whoops.
Yeah.
Did the screen go blank for you?
Nah, it just froze up for
Okay.
a minute now.
Okay. All right. So I'll keep going on. I noticed that your float was half the float my float was. And you kind of had a theory behind it. And I thought it was really cool. I was to see if you could share that with some of the folks and kind of talk them through what happened and how you come up with this.
Yeah, so I jumped on Bottom Dweller's website, and I normally run a 2-inch peg float on my Santee rig. Well, I guess I clicked the wrong button and I bought the 2.5s. A lot of people run 2.5s. They just use a heavier weight.
Right.
You know, the Kirby rigs, you know, they have the 2.5s on them.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, I don't like to drag a lot of heavy weight on my dragging singers. I like to try to keep it as light as possible, just so it skips along real nice down there. What I noticed right away was my style, these floats were too big. You know, I didn't even know where the baits were. They weren't on the bottom.
Right.
So I thought, what the heck? I brought them home, and I took a hacksaw and I cut them all in half, and came up with half of a 2.5-inch float. And So I started throwing those out, and the immediate thing that I noticed, I caught a few fish on them like that. But what I noticed is when I had caught a fish, I released the fish and I looked back down into the water because I had tossed my rig back over the side. And I noticed that that float cut in half like that gives it more action than just the regular oval shaped float. So having the back half of it cut off, instead of being aerodynamic where the water kind of just goes around the back side of it, and it's got a little bit of a wag to it in the water. With the back cut off of it, what I noticed is it had 12 or 14 inches of wag, and it was a nice slow wag back and forth, at about 0.5 miles an hour in the current. So, and it was very little current on the river at the time. I mean, maybe 0.2, 0.1, 0.2 mile an hour current. So I noticed right away that there was something there. It was a little different than just a standard stick float or the oval float. So maybe that was the key to that rod. I mean, everything that we've seen come in on that rod had a cut float on it. So
yeah. I started scratching my head because I was like, I'm getting ready to start cutting all my floats in half, man. This guy's smoking me on the boat here.
But, I mean, it could be something to it. I don't know, but maybe it's just been luck. But it seems like there's something to it when it's producing a lot of fish. So
well, I mean, it makes complete sense when we talk about just the nature of what we're doing by putting things down in the water. A lot of guys in chat right here talking about using pencil sinkers or dragon sinkers or different types of sinkers. And speaking of that, if you guys haven't seen Paula Smith's article on sinkers, it's an interesting read. There's actually some things I didn't realize or didn't know about sinkers that was in that read. That's posted on the Muskrat Adventures page, but you can also go find it under Paula Smith. But we grab those pencil sinkers and other sinkers for the aerodynamic, and so they can cut through the water and cut through debris and whatnot and not get hung up. So yeah, the idea that float being flat on the back is going to take that aerodynamic concept out of it and allow it to be more active. And I'll tell you right now, I'm trying it. I seen it work, and it wasn't a fluke thing. You said that you've had other instances where that was outperforming other rigs that you had. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's always interesting to me. It's mind-boggling just how something like that could make a difference whether you catch a fish or not catch a fish in a day. And I'm going to assume it's not always going to be the case, but there's so much going on in the catfish industry and the tackle, terminal tackle, demon dragons, every different version of the rattling floats and things that there. It's neat that something can still be thought about and something can still be changed to make a big difference. It's just, who's going to have the next big idea.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought it was super cool. I was trying to keep up with chat, but I actually got caught up and listened to your story, even though I knew the story. Hey, I do want to say a couple things real quick. We are at 51 people in chat. Guys, I appreciate it so much. We also hit 500 subscribers last night. I'll be honest with you. When I started doing this, it was kind of fun. It was just kind of had fun doing it. Didn't really expect it to do anything or go anywhere. But 500 subscribers is a big deal to me. I didn't think there'd be 500 people interested in what I got to say or do, but thank you guys so much. I want to try to get a get together. I mean, not a get together, a giveaway put together to show some appreciation for what you guys have done and all the support through the live shows, through the live streams, and the videos that we've been able to put together. And just the companionship and new alliances that I've found, like right here talking with William, getting together on the boat with him, looking down through chat, Skip Stewart in the house there, fishing with Chad before. Ohio, Derek, hello Derek. Ohio Catfish Chaser's been on the boat with Derek, and many more to come. Shaking hands and hugging the neck as Patriot James would say. So I really appreciate the support. Can't wait to get to 1,000 and bring even more stuff to you. And as soon as I can put together something cool, we will do a giveaway. I promise. I actually did have a couple folks hit me up today that wanted to help out with a giveaway. And so I know I've seen one in here in chat. So thank you for that. And we will work to put something cool together for you. But I just wanted to say thank you real quick while I had enough eyeballs in here to hear me. I appreciate it. Bottom of my heart. I'm having fun, and I can't wait to get more content together for you and get another 500, and just keep on cruising, having a ball. That's enough about me. This is about you. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your rig, boat you're running, what you got set up. I know that you got a video out there and kind of walks through it for the folks that haven't seen it though. You got some really cool stuff. I got to admit that you're pretty I don't know, handy. I'm not sure. I was trying to think of a smarter word to that, but I don't know. You got some cool stuff going on in your boat. Neat ideas, and you've got the craftsmanship skills to do some of this stuff. So, kind of walk everybody through what you're running out there on the waters.
All right. So just to back up just a little bit. I originally ran a pontoon boat, which I loved. It was comfortable. You could sleep on it. You could take the family out, the whole deal. Had it rigged up for catfish. I mean, by far the best catfish machine I've ever had. It lacked one thing, speed. When I decided I wanted to start doing a little tournament fishing and I wanted to get up and down the river a little quicker, we changed our stance on it, and we sacrificed a little bit of some of the things the pontoon boat had to get some more speed. So keeping a budget in mind, because I didn't have some of the big dollar catfish money to go spend on those the nicer boats. What I did is I found the best package for me, what I could afford. So I ended up going down to Stokely Marine in Lexington, and I picked up a Tracker 165 WT. So it's almost a 17-foot boat. It's got an 8-foot 1-inch beam, 115 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke. It runs up and down the river great. You put 2 guys in gear in there, and load her down pretty good. Full tank of gas, 3 batteries. I mean, you're running up and down the river almost 40 mile an hour. So I'm happy with that. So some of the things we did right away to the boat. I needed rod holders all over. I didn't really want to go with the rod rack idea on the back, so I ended up building angle iron brackets that fit into the VersaTrack system. Right. And I welded a nut on top of each one of those, and I put reverse thread nuts on the other side of the boat. That way the rod holders are always tight. You don't have to worry about anything loosening up. I've had that happen several times. It'll give you the pucker factor when you see a rod spinning around like that. You don't know if it's going to stay in the holder or not. So. Yep. Yeah. So we ended up going with some Driftmaster rod holders. I like them. No complaints. They're easy to find. They're affordable. There's tons of good rod holders out there. I like the compact size of them the best. I didn't want a bigger rod holder. I just thought the smaller size was going to be better for my application. Mm-hmm. And then as far as I didn't want to poke a bunch of holes in the boat, so I designed where the back seat base plugs in. I designed another set of rod holders right in the middle of the boat in the back, and I was able to also mount a cutting board there that I made out of PVC board. Yep. If anybody's interested in ever making their own cutting boards, I mean, it's super easy. You need a ruler or a tape measure. You need a pencil and a saw, and you can go to Home Depot and buy that 1/2-inch white PVC board. It's not that expensive. I mean, I think it was around $50 or $60 for a full sheet of it. And you can make boards for days. So you end up being able to get 6 or 8 boards out of a sheet. Yeah. And I was able to help a few buddies out with some boards too. James Hamilton was interested in one, and he's got one on his new G3 boat, and from what he says, he likes it, so that's a good thing. Other things that we did, those boats don't come with a lot of interior lighting, so we put a bunch of interior lights in it. Put some green lights in there. I like green in the summertime because mosquitoes tend to stay away from the green a little bit. So we decided to go with some green. Running a Helix 7 Gen 3 with side scan. Nothing super fancy, but it does what the big ones do, but at a more affordable price. So that's what we went with. And I'm trying to think of what else is on there.
I can tell you the way you got it set up, with the rod racks and the rod holders, extended out to the, towards the back of the boat, and the rod racks in the middle. For a 16.5-foot boat, man, that thing has a ton of room. I was really impressed with how much floor space and opening. So I know Skip has, I think, the exact same boat, and the width on those boats and the versatility and that Versa rack does make those things a lot more roomy than I ever would expect a 16.5-foot boat to be. It's not what an old 16.5-foot boat used to be, I can tell you that.
They used to be skinny, and they weren't real stable.
Yeah. So you do some tournament fishing as well. What tournaments do you guys participate in, or circuits do you guys follow?
So that's another thing Brandon Darnell got me started in. He kind of paved the way a little bit to help me out. And once I fished my first tournament out of Southwest Ohio Catfish Club, it's run by Vince Nadowski. Right. That group of guys that showed up there was great. I mean, there wasn't a mean soul in the bunch. We all went out. We had a great time. Probably the first several tournaments I fished there, I had no clue what I was doing. I was brand new into it. I didn't know what to do. I was going out, anchoring up, and throwing rods in the water and hoping for the best. And then after Brandon took me under his wing, he kind of showed me the ropes of, hey, if you want to be successful, this is what you got to do. And we kind of climbed our way up a little bit in the Southwest Ohio Catfish Club. Got to know some great people. We got a few good finishes out of it, and we ended up taking second place in their championship tournament this fall, which was a lot of fun. It was nice to shake hands with a couple of guys that I know that have put a lot of fish in their boat and put a lot of tournament winnings in their boat, and it was pretty cool to experience that. We also fish out of Whiskey City over at Tanner's Creek.
Yep.
Another great series. Those guys are great. They fish all year round. Their tournament series never stops. So they'll have another tournament. I think coming up this weekend, I believe. I could be wrong about that. All I know is I can't go to it. It might have been last weekend. All I know is I had to work. So the last tournament we fished over there last month. We went out and I did some things that I've done over there in the past. Found some structure, drug planer boards on structure. Found a bunch of fish quick. Put 5 fish in the boat quick. The only problem was I know those guys over there know how to catch fish, and they know how to catch big fish. So we didn't have any big fish. So we changed our tactics up a little bit, and we ended up putting one pretty decent fish in the boat. And I thought we had a shot. And we got back to the weigh-in, and that was by far the best weigh-in I've ever seen in a tournament, local tournament here. So, seen multiple, 50-pound shovel heads come in, and then a gentleman, I can't recall his name off the top of my head, but he ended up bringing a 65-pound blue cat, and he didn't even take first place; he took second place. So
that's pretty good when 65 pounds doesn't clinch first.
Yeah, so I mean that series launches out of Tanner's Creek, and there's a lot of good area to fish down there. I'm starting to learn that part of the river a lot better now, and learning what to do based on the time of year it is. So,
Chad says they're having another tournament there on New Year's Day out Tanner's Creek.
Yeah, I fished that one last year, New Year's Day. So
there you go.
It was cold, but we caught some fish, so that's all that matters.
Hey, there was a question earlier I caught by Kentucky Big Cats and Bourbon. He was asking about your live well for when you're doing your tournament setups. Hey, Abbott, how you doing? For your tournament fishing, he's one of the things that he's having issues with was his tracker was live well capacity.
Yeah, so when I looked at the Tracker 165 online and I looked at the live well pictures, I was like, man, you know, that's not a big live well. When I got to Stokely Marine and I popped the live well door open, the first thing I noticed is that boat did not have the live well in it that was in the pictures. It had a bigger live well in it. So I was happy with that. The you know, I can shoehorn fish in there, no, you know, it's not an issue. But if 140-pound fish goes end to end in that live well, and that's, you know, you can stack a couple other fish on him. But what I did to combat that issue was I'll put my small fish in the back live well. You know, if I get anything that's 20 pounds, 25 pounds and under, I'll put them in the back live well. It's you know, it's got a recirc pump and it's got a timer on it to get fresh water in there. I think it's like every 3 or 5 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did is I did what a lot of guys do. I was able to source out a plastic truck toolbox, and I think it's almost 5 feet long. It's pretty big, and I put a pump in it, and I put a ball valve system in it so I can pump the water out and not have to try to drain that somewhere. And you know, I do what a lot of guys do when they don't have that live well capacity. I'll throw a bilge pump over the side of the boat and put fresh water on them and pump old water out. And so it is a little bit of a hassle, you know, especially on a hot day when you got to keep continuously moving that water to keep big fish alive for a tournament. But you know, I've gotten kind of used to it. The only issue we had earlier this year was, I believe it was Memorial Day or Labor Day. I can't remember which one. We fished a tournament out of Tanner's Creek, and they had a poker run that day. A bunch of race boats went by, and I had 60 gallons of water in that live well, and all 60 gallons of that water ended up in the boat when we got to rocking and rolling. So I was struggling up there to keep water on those fish, and you know, that was a headache. But ran a bilge pump for about 15 minutes before it finally shut off. Yeah, I mean, it works. It gets the job done. You know, I'll like I said, small fish in the back, and if I catch a good trophy-sized fish, he goes in the big tank, and we baby him all day long to make sure that he's going to be a good, healthy fish when he's ready to be released.
Good deal. Good deal. And I've done the same thing. My boat doesn't have a live well in it to begin with, and so I've done the same thing. I've made one out of a truck toolbox. I've actually used just slipped my mind. It's a quick connect system in and out of my boat. I've already got everything plumbed, timers and everything, to where I just 3 hoses I connect and I flip a switch and I'm pumping water in, out, or recirculating depending on, you know, which valve I switch. So hopefully that helps you out, Kentucky Big Cats and Bourbon. I seen Jim Buckeye Catfishing said that he'd like to fish that Southwest tournament, but they'd have to give him a head start in his pontoon. They just have to.
I'll tell you what, you know, most of the areas they launch out of, there's such good fishing right in those areas anywhere. You ain't got to go far. I mean, I've seen guys, you know, we're all peeling out of the tournament when they say go, we're all heading one way or the other. And you know, it's funny sometimes you get those guys that they don't go anywhere and they sit right within eyesight of the boat ramp, and they come back and they smash everybody at the weigh-in, and we've all used a tank of gas and a whole cooler full of bait, and they smoke it when we get to the weigh-in. So
I've heard that. Heard that story told 100 different ways, and it's the same every time. It's everyone took off, and you know, I've heard of guys having boat problems and just couldn't go very far, or had to stay on trolling motor and end up taking the tournament or placing well. So yeah, you don't have to. I think we pass a lot of fish trying to get to areas that we think are going to be good. And, you know, there's fish all through there.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, our last tournament out of Southwest, we fished in the championship there. We had intentions of running from Neville all the way down to close to Cincinnati, which would have been a heck of a run. But you know, 3 or 4 boats got out ahead of me, and they were way ahead of me. And I was counting good spots on the way to Cincinnati, and I knew there was enough boats to hit all those spots. So I said, well, we better pull off and fish, you know, one spot that's a lot closer. And we ended up staying on that same 800-yard stretch of river all day, and we caught 36 fish. Woo! And I mean, it was one right after. We ended up catching I can't remember, it was either a 12 or a 14-pound channel cat. I think it's the biggest channel cat I've ever put in my boat. And
that's a good channel cat.
Yeah.
So what kind of gear are you using? I know we talked a little bit about this on the boat the other day, as far as rod and reels and all that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been through it all. You know, I started out with the economy stuff. You know, what's affordable. You know, I started out with the rip and lip stuff. It's great equipment. I can't complain about it. I've never broke one of their rods, and I've caught 40+ pound fish on them. I run across some good deals here and there. You know, like I said, I'm a budget friendly guy, so I like to try to keep it as cheap as possible, so I can keep myself on the water and out of credit card debt and stuff like that. So. Right now, my rods that I use the most, I'm running the Big Cat Fever heavy rods with my Penn Warfare 20s. I run 40-pound test, just Bass Pro Shop Excel on that. I think that line's great. It's really stretchy, but it's got a good abrasion resistance, and I mean it ain't easy to break. So.
Right.
My two smaller rods that I use, they're also Big Cat Fever medium heavies, and I run a 6500 big game edition on those. Those two combinations of things seem to work good. I like that the line capacity on those pins when I'm pulling planer boards, you know, because I really like to hang that stuff out. So that line capacity helps out a lot.
Yeah, I've run the Squall 20s, and the line capacity on those bad boys are, well, even the Penn, the Squall 15, it'll amaze you. It has more line capacity than a 6500, and you wouldn't think it by the diameter, but yeah, I like them. Let's see. What about your bumping setup?
I just picked up a oh shoot, I can't even remember the name of the reel now. I know it's made by Piscifun. I think it's a Piscifun Aljos. It's a $100 reel. It does not have a clicker on it. It's got 33 pounds of drag, and my good buddy Dan Arnold, he kind of gifted me that reel, and I put it on a what is that rod I put it on? You remember that rod I brought out the other day? I can't even remember now.
Was it Shattercat?
No, not a Shattercat. Oh man. Oh, B&M.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, B&M
bumping rods.
Just got those. Yeah. So, so it's at Piscifun Aljos, I think it's pronounced, and it's on the B&M bumping cat rod. It's the Gen 2 bump rod, and so far so good. I haven't caught one fish on it yet bumping, but I've caught several fish on it pulling planer boards, and I caught a pretty decent shovel head on it, dragging bait, and no complaints. I mean, it's stiff. It's what a bumping rod should be, and it's light. And so far, so good with that reel. Like we were talking about earlier, it's always kind of sketchy when you're trying off-brand stuff or things you've never put in your hand before. Because I mean, you know the big names out there, and you know the things that you've had in your hands, and sometimes you gotta throw a few dollar bills out there to try something maybe a little cheaper or off-brand, and so far so good.
That is true. It's tough. It's tough when you go to buy something online, or shoot, not Piscifun or PC-Fun or whatever. I can't remember the name of the other one that most people buy. Shoot, I bought one too, and I ended up getting rid of it. But buying those off off the wall reels that you haven't heard or anything about, or don't know anything about, gets more expensive when they don't work out.
Yeah, it does. When you get mad and you throw it in the garage, and you got to go, then you say, okay, well, I'm going back and I'm going to buy me an Abu now because I know so you just spent more money. But
yeah,
I try to watch a lot of reviews, and I sometimes I pass over some reviews because you can tell that these guys are taking it out of the box, and they're not testing the product, or they're not reviewing the product like I would, or like the guys that I fish with would. They're kind of babying it around, and unfortunately we don't get that option sometimes. We don't get the option to baby a piece of equipment. So
I am hard on my gear. It has got to be tough, or it will not make it with me. I am hard on gear.
I like to find those review videos where people are, beating the snot out of stuff and really giving it a true review before I'll go buy it.
So speaking of that, you had a reel out that day that I had never heard of, but you had been trying out and was pretty happy with. I forgot the name of it already. Is it back there, the Janko?
Yeah, the John Q.
John Q.
Yep.
What can you tell everybody about that?
So I had seen a few reviews for this reel online and heard good things about it. And I watched a review video where a guy took this reel and a Kuma Citrix, took them both apart. He used a micrometer and went through them, and pretty much everything of the internals of this John Q reel were pretty much identical to the Citrix. So the build quality on it seems good. Brass gear reel. It's got a clicker and it's a low pro. So I know everybody's wanting the low pros for bumping. So
right.
It's called a John Q.
What's the price point normally on the Citrix?
They're a little over $100, maybe $120, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then these here run how much?
$65.
It's a smooth reel.
Yeah, it's called a John Q Titan MT200, and this is the right-hand version here. This is definitely a budget-friendly reel. I mean, it's smooth. It's got the clicks in the drag, which is nice. It's always a good feeling, and also in the spool tensioner. And it's also got a clicker on it. It's not a real beefy clicker, but 9 times out of 10, when I'm dropping baits off the back of the boat to start dragging or something like that, I'll leave the bail open and flip the clicker on, and just that way I know when it hits the bottom, because then I can turn my back and go do something else. And when it stops clicking, it's on the bottom, and I'll click the handle shut. So
if you can, give everybody a shot of that the box there so they can get the name. Guys, I'm having him do this because this turned out to be a really nice reel for him, and I had never heard of it. And for the price, there you go. JOHNCOO, John Q.
Yeah.
MT200R. I was super impressed when I seen that reel. And like you guys saw, he just got it out of the box. That's actually his birthday or Christmas gift for his son, I believe, right?
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah.
So that reel's that smooth right out of the box, and he's been putting it to the paces and abusing it. And so it's just an option for you guys if you're in the market for a low profile reel. I was super impressed with that thing. I'd never heard of it before I met William, so I thought it'd be cool for him to pass it on to you guys, and maybe somebody else gives it a shot and get it going from there. Speaking of your son, he's one of the guys that fishes some of these tournaments with you, right?
He absolutely is. Yep. Yeah. He's. I tell you what, I would trust him to run the boat. If I wasn't feeling good one day or something, and I needed somebody to run the boat, because I wanted to hit a tournament or something, I'd put him up against anybody any day. So.
He's how old now?
He's 12 years old.
12 years old. Guys at Kevin Palmetto Cats had a show Sunday night about the kids of catfishing, and I've seen videos of your son, man. Just he looks like he's been doing it all of his life. Throwing planer boards on, and I mean he has got it down. That's really awesome. You've done a great job with him. That's for sure.
I don't think I've really ever had to explain anything to him. He picks it up and he just runs with it, and I mean. He's hilarious too. He gets really serious about his catfishing. I mean, we get out there in a tournament and we're not doing good or something. He gets as frustrated as I do, and he's giving me ideas, trying to change up tactics, and maybe he'll go grab something else out of the cooler that we haven't tried yet for bait, or I mean, it's hilarious. A lot of times he finds the fish for me when I get frustrated and can't find him. I mean, he'll come up with an idea that I haven't thought of, and we'll run with it. And I love it when a kid is successful like that, because it's hilarious when they look at you and it's with that "I told you so."
Look what I can imagine that car ride home, what that's going to sound like when I.
Oh yeah, yep.
You got all your fancy stuff, Dad, but I found the fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes we get caught up in being, set in our ways, or I know this works, so we won't try something else. And another person, especially a kid in the boat, that says, "Hey, why don't you try this?" And you're like, "Whatever," and the boom, it's working. And you're like, "Man." So that's awesome. I love seeing the kids out there. When I seen the videos with your son, I was like super impressed. I'm like, man, he's better than me and probably half my friends I take out. He's good. And then so can he run the boat? Like you said, can he drive the boat and start it and move it if you needed him to?
Well, we haven't gotten into that yet. He needs to get his whatever he's got to get his boat license or whatever that is to be legal and all that stuff. So I'd hate to catch a ticket out of it, but yeah, I mean other things. I mean just yeah, I mean he can look at the depth finder or the sonar and he can pick things up that I'm not picking up, or he'll pan through and he'll find something, and or on his side of the boat, if he's not hitting a spot or the current's got the boat a certain way, next thing I know, he's up there cranking the steering wheel, turning the motor to get the back of the boat facing the way he needs it to face, so he can keep his lines in the right spot. He knows what he's doing.
There's a lot of adults that don't understand that yet. You get anchored up, and the way you got your motor facing will determine how the back of your bait sways or turns, and so that's awesome. That's awesome. He's that advanced already at 12 years old. I can only imagine what he's going to be like once he gets out there on his own.
Yeah, he's serious about it.
So what kind of line do you use? Braid, mono? Oh, never mind. You said it. You covered it. You said the Bass Pro XL.
Yeah, Bass Pro XL 30-pound test on my 6500s, and Bass Pro XL 40-pound test on my Penn Warfares. And then on bumping rods, I use braid. I like, obviously I like the Suffix braid. I've got 65-pound Suffix on one of my reels, but I wanted to kind of, see if there was some alternatives out there, see if there was anything a little more affordable. And I ended up with the high visibility orange 65-pound diamond braid. So I got a spool of that I'm going to test. And, when all this Corona stuff hit and Walmart didn't have anything on their shelves, the only thing they had was expensive fishing line that nobody wanted to buy. So I found the Trilene Big Game 65-pound braid. And I've got to try that out still too, see if it's any good. I run those on my pumping rod.
There's so many different we got so many different options out there to choose from. And even more so that we haven't heard of. I think I hear a new line every week. A lot of guys using some offshore stuff that, I mean, if it's holding up the big game stuff, I'm sure what we put it through would be more than enough. But let's try to see. I missed some questions. Somehow it looks like chat took off on quitting smoking. So I'm lucky enough to say that I've never had to quit because I never started. But for those of you that are looking to quit or going to try to quit again, hats off to you. I can't say I've been there, but chat's been going down. It looks like we're talking about New Year's resolutions and quit smoking for some folks right here. Looks like they're making New Year's resolutions already.
Well, that's good.
Huh?
I said, that's good. Roger, you seen firsthand out on the boat, you seen what I was doing. I was trying to quit chewing tobacco, so I had little pouches that I was chewing, trying to stop that. So that's one of my resolutions too, is to quit that and save a little money, a little more money for fishing. And we're trying to build a house right now, so any little dollar bill helps. So
Jason Ward wants to know what kind of hooks you're using.
I use the Mustad Demon. It's the heavy duties. I've got 8/0 and 10/0. When I bought the 8/0s, I was expecting them to look like an 8/0, and they didn't. They look more like a 6 or a 7. So I bought the 10s, and then the 10s are they're more like a 9. So far, so good. They're a little shorter of a shank than I like, but so far, so good. I can't really say I've missed any tremendous amount of hookups or anything, with those hooks over any other hook out there that is a top producer too. So
there are a lot of people that have really liked those Demon circle hooks. You know, I remember Steve Douglas talking about the Mustad, you know, Demon circle hooks and how much he likes those. And you know, a lot of different. I've never tried them. I've been pretty much stuck on TK 9/0 hooks for a while. I am wanting to get some Diachi hooks. I got a couple like samples a while back, and I do really like those. And to be honest with you, I mean, they just got a great reputation.
Yeah, I do have some Charlie Brown 10/0 heavy duties, and Brandon Darnell turned me onto those. He threw a few my way, and I have got to try them out. They're like a modified circle, you know, almost similar to a Diachi. And good luck with those. You know, they're really good hooks. And I tell you what, they're probably the sharpest hook I've ever used. And you know, the when they pierce that inside of the catfish's mouth there, it makes a real nice, clean pierce. And you know, they seem to be a little easier to get out than other hooks that I've used. You know, when you're trying to remove them, I mean, they stay in there, they dig in. But I think that smoother hole they put in seems to make it a little easier for pulling those hooks out too.
Yeah, I noticed that when you had the hook set on those bad boys, that they didn't come out real easy.
No, they wrap in the jaw there real tight, and they're hooked.
Yeah, and you're like me. I noticed that you did not want to use your pliers unless you absolutely had to. You know, try to save those hooks as long as we can. But guys, we're still sitting at 46 people, and I won't throw anybody's names out there, but I got a message said, hey, let's give away a double check my numbers here. Let's do a $20 Amazon gift card for everybody in chat. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to go from 1 to 200. And are you number 93? Man, we almost got you to 100 subscribers tonight, guys. If you guys could get him up to 100 Catfish code, I'd appreciate it. But we're going to do a little giveaway here from 1 to 200. When I say go, and I've already got the number here in front of me, and then once I see the number, we'll say stop, and we'll go from there, and we'll just have a little bit of fun tonight. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Sound like fun? All right, guys, 1 through 200. Get her going now. Go. Let's see if we can't find. See if we can't find a winner here for a $20 Amazon gift card, and you may just use that for a Johnco brand new reel if you choose so. But guys, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. William, I appreciate you being in here tonight, sharing information, sharing knowledge. Man, you've got a lot of experience. I loved fishing with you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me. Yeah, it was a great time meeting you, meeting Skip. I know you and Skip do a lot together, and you know, it's not every day somebody drives you know, a couple hours to come down and fish with you, and you did. Skip did that, and I tell you what, two of the nicest people I've ever met and had on my boat. So it was great meeting you guys, and you know, nice to form a new friendship and learn some new things and get out there and just have a good time. So
yeah,
I also want to thank everybody in here, you know, that tuned in tonight and you know, subscribe to my channel. Our goal in the future is to try to put out as many videos as possible. Everything's family friendly. We like to go out and catch fish, have a good time. I'm taking any recommendations I can get on what I can do to make better videos. One thing is I need to stop talking with my back turned to the camera because nobody can hear what I'm saying. So that's one thing I'm going to work on, and trying to get rid of some wind and maybe be a little more talkative on fishing. A lot of times I turn that camera on, I forget the camera's on because I'm back there watching those rods, waiting for a takedown, and I need to loosen up a little bit on the boat and, you know, have some fun with the viewers and try to get more interactive with people and just have a good time.
Yeah, it takes a while to get you know, to get it all figured out and to get it done, but the content that you're putting out has been good content, you know, and But that's great to be open-minded and, you know, ask for input. People want to see it and hear it. But looks like everybody's got their numbers in. So if somebody could type the word stop for me, we'll officially put an end to the numbers. As soon as I see the word stop pop up, I'll say the number. And I think I know who the winner is closest without going over. I don't think anybody got it right on the head, but I think I see who got it the closest. Paula Smith says, I am having lessons on editing and how to make good videos. All right. I see the word stop rolling in there. Thank you guys for helping out. The winning number was 39. The winning number was 39. If you guys could just send me your email address and or email me your address or send it to me in Messenger here. We'll get you set up. But the winning number was 39. And when I was going through, it looked like 36 was the winning number. I don't even see it now. You guys help me out with closest to 39 without going over. I believe it was 36. I thought it was Kathmandu Outdoors with number 36. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know.
No, you're right. I'm looking at it right now.
Catfishing Crappie says, loser. Mark, you never loser, brother. You're a winner in our books. So congratulations. If you don't have my Facebook Messenger, Roger DeMint Jr., you can comment after the show and get with me, and we'll get you set up with $20 Amazon gift card. So thank you guys. Michael Murillo, man, what happened? Did you get in a little too late? He won $20 Amazon gift card just for small token appreciation, the 500 subs. Appreciate the awesome show you guys have helped put together tonight. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed William being here as much as I have. I could probably shut this off and talk to William the rest of the night about fishing and be just fine with it. Chad, no, I'm getting messages. Chad says my name is Kathmandu. Man, somebody help me make sure I'm doing this. Kathmandu. That's how I'm saying it. Chad, you're not Kathmandu. So knock it off. He said, prove it. Congratulations. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. 500 subs. I'm tickled to death. So before we let William get out of here and call it a night, you guys got any questions? Any questions for William? He's fishing down on the Ohio River. I won't give away your area if you don't want me to, but Kathmandu. That's kind of how
we'll call it from Manchester to Rising Sun, Indiana. That's about 70-mile stretch.
70 miles. Good luck finding out where he's fishing. He does have a pretty boat that says Catfish Code on it, so you might spot him on the river.
Yeah. You'll see it for sure.
Chad said he picked number 81, but it identified as number 39.
Oh, boy.
Brandon, thank you. I forget to say that all the time. If you guys would, hit the thumbs up. Share the video if you like what you're seeing. Hopefully you're subscribed. You're part of the 500 cool folks that helped me get there to where I'm at right now. And if nobody's got anything else, we will call tonight. And so those of you, I had a couple people question me about my boat, what happened, what's going on. My boat's been acting funny. I took it out and fished this last week with Herb Everhart, and it just acted like it was either not taking gas or it was sucking air. I did find a vacuum link once I got it home and got it fixed, but it acted more so like a power pack issue. And I just so happen to have a new power pack here at the house. I put it on. I haven't got to run it yet to determine if that was the problem or not. So as soon as I get that bad boy in the water, I will be back out there fishing and try to bring you guys some more content. In the meantime, I have run across some other content that I was happy to put out. If you guys didn't catch the video a couple days ago, I put out with Brandon Cross and their son, Caleb. Caleb was able to catch his first blue cat, first gar, and a super rainy thunderstorm day. It was a fun adventure. We enjoyed ourselves and got to put it out there. But we'll get out there and get some more footage put together for you and get some more content. Thanks. Skip says, thanks again, William, for being here.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for having me.
I enjoyed it, man. It sounds I'm thinking everybody here enjoyed it and getting a lot of questions. Is your boat wrapped? Brandon asked.
It is not wrapped, but it's got about a 4-foot vinyl graphic on the from the nose of it, about 4 feet back. So it says Catfish Code, about 4 feet long, about 2 feet high. So it's hard to miss. You can definitely see it, and it's reflective at night. So if anybody shines a light on it coming down the river, at least they can see me a little better. Maybe I might not get hit out there.
J-Dog says, hey, Catfish Code, could you outfish Chad like the Muskrat did? I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say you outfish me too.
I don't know. I'd be up for a challenge.
Cross Family says, thanks for hanging out with us. You made a fan because you call him Shovelhead, not Flathead, and that's always a big deal in Betty's book. Stan Smith, thank you for that. Guys, we're going to barge race. Yeah, barge race 2020. That was we had fun with that day. I went ahead and threw it in a video because why not? But thank you guys all for being here. We're going to call it a night. Next week, tune in. I don't know what we're doing, but we'll come up with something. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you.